My name is Justin Mapp. I'm mainly a guitarist, but I DJ, I produce, I play a lot of other instruments now. I've been getting involved with the Utopia Fenny scene, like with Mike and Adante, now for a little under a year now. And I've been a part of the 757 scene since I was 13. Started in a band called Mirador, played guitar and I sang in that. And we played a lot of shows since about when I was 15, so around 2014 to 2018. And then around 2017, 2018, I formed my current band, Frederick's Dead. And we're like an experimental heavy band, that's what I like to say. And we've been doing our thing now since 2018, so 3 years. And other than that, I've done a lot of interesting side projects. Recently performed my first show with my hip-hop group Black Vermin, and I DJ'd, and it was a very nice experience because it's straight hip-hop. It's expanded it, because for me, just generally when I get asked questions about COVID, for me, the past year, like around COVID technically started like February 2020, right?
It was like the end of December, it was trickling, we knew it was in China and shit, but like end of February, stuff started shutting down here.
Yeah, so like end of February to now has been probably the best time of my life, period. Not only for music, but just for everything. And I just really view it as a time of expansion, as a time of growth and learning and trial and error. But specifically with music, like I started DJing in COVID. I recorded an album this summer. I started producing. I got an SP404. And in terms of how I listen to music, I guess I just got connected to more people who have a different foundation in terms of genre, like different people who come from, I predominantly listen to this genre or this genre, and just having conversations with them in relationships and building those relationships over the past year or even within the past month or two of people that I just met. And in terms of how I make music, definitely it gave me a lot of time last summer and this summer to really isolate, specifically with Frederick's Dead, like writing so much music, performing, practicing for real. And even solo, just like, I'm already an introvert, so I already spend a decent amount of time on my own. So I wouldn't say that COVID made me more alone than I normally am. Not even trying to say that in a dark way, but just like, I was already kind of introverted, so it really just made my habits that I already had even more seamless because of like, I didn't really have to do anything at a certain point, so I was able to just chill and listen to stuff. I mean, and I remember over the past year, I've gotten into so many genres that are more on the EDM side. Like I'm a huge dub fan now. I'm a huge like house fan, and I'm a huge dub techno specifically fan now. And I wasn't pre-COVID, so I guess that has an effect on like those genres of music that I listen to. And also just like being around, like I pointed off camera, but being around Adante and Mike and like people like Kobe, that's my best friend, people like Nate, who also produces on the SP, being around people like Deepow, like literally just being exposed to a lot of music that I already know that I'm not necessarily the most inclined to listen to, whether it be like more trap leaning genres or whatever else that I might not be predisposed to. Even just that is like a learning experience and an experience on not only how to tolerate things that I don't necessarily like, but also just how to find the similarities in the genres that I do like and seeing the crossover. And also, even if I don't like the music specifically, I find that I really enjoy seeing people like their own shit. Like I like watching people enjoy themselves sometimes more than I like the music at a particular, because it's just like it's teaching me how to not judge and how to not project negativity onto things that I don't necessarily find to my taste or to my liking.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my answer to that. I would say like On the band side, bands like Sleep, Ohm, Dinosaur Jr., John Frusciante, the guitarist in Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jimi Hendrix. On another end though, like on the hip hop side, like Fat John, Nujabes. Shit, on the dub side, like Lee Scratch Perry, who just died. Moritz von Oswald and Rhythm and Sound, and Intrusion and Stephen Hitchell. Trying to think who else. There's a lot. Like there's a lot in so many different genres that I forget if I can't pull it up sometimes. Okay. But yeah, those are like the names off the top of my head. Like journaling, fucking yoga, just meditating in general, whether that be like what people normally stereotypically think meditation is, like sitting in silence, or just like going outside and observing nature. Reading, listening to audiobooks, watching videos about world news, researching like on a historical basis, spirituality, history, culture, like ancient knowledge of like ancient civilizations and cultures. I'm getting more into like learning about different languages. I'm trying to think, what are my other hobbies? Oh yeah, cooking. Yeah, cooking. This is a big one. Yeah, like I go to a lot of farmers markets. I was telling DFAL about that. Like that's one of my passions for sure. Like I guess another passion, like to continue answering the question, is literally just like building relationships with people and literally communicating. That's probably one of my biggest passions in terms of not even communicating when it comes to me talking, because I've had to learn how to shut the fuck up sometimes and just like literally be more of a listener and an observer. But even just relationship building in and of itself is like, I just learn a lot of things that I literally would have never learned before just from being around people. Like me and Mike and Kobe and Adante, and Diva, I've had conversations with him about Spectrum, about like not only learning things musically and artistically from Spectrum, being in that house for a week, but also just like the different things that came up spiritually, emotionally, like in terms of communication, in terms of like energetically being in a house with so many different energies and learning, wow, this affects me in a certain way. Therefore, like I feel like I have to do this to safeguard my energy, or I feel like I have to do this and this to recharge so that I don't get fucking vamped off of my energy or draining myself of my own energy. And like learning how to, when it comes to communication, listen, like learning how to be in something but not of it, regardless of what that thing is, especially if it has to deal with other people with stronger, powerful energy, like creatives in a house for a week, where everyone has their own type of really strong, energetic signature that like is very like this. Like I don't know how else to describe it. That like learning how to deal with that is like an important life skill that I feel like
that was days of it. So,
yeah, bro.
Any given time in your around it. The only real way that you could escape it is if you were in your room.
Or if you went outside. Yeah. Like, and you drove by me that one morning. I was walking outside at like 7 in the morning.
It was like the second day, bro. And it's foggy as shit outside, and I almost hit this man. I'm honest. I'm like, what the? Oh, that's a person.
Nah, bro.
Nah, definitely. I could feel that. It was cool to share that space and like get to the kind of outside of some of the people that I, thought I had a good understanding of them or whatever. Definitely got to know them better. Or learn more about them there, and then even some people that I didn't know at all. Like yourself, it was cool to share that experience with.
So for me, like, let's just take like 2021 for an example. At the beginning of 2021, literally after Spectrum, I deleted Instagram for a good 2 to 3 months. I didn't have Instagram on my phone for almost 3 months. I would get on it on my computer just to like mainly check messages. And I took that time to unfollow. I think last summer, I followed around 1,000 people. I made that 1,000 into like maybe 400. And then I remember after Spectrum, I made that 400 to like what it is now, I think almost like 290. And even now I want to like unfollow more people, not just because I want to be a dick, but just because like to me, it makes no sense having connections to people that I don't actually connect to in real life. And I feel like that, for me, it just takes a lot of my focus away from the present moment, and it takes away my focus of literally connecting with like people like y'all, like in terms of when Spectrum happened and then after, and we were talking about like, damn, we gotta hang out. Like, I want to actually hang out with niggas that want to hang out with me, and vice versa, rather than look at somebody on a phone or on a computer who I don't even really care to talk to. Nothing against them. It's just like energy speaks for itself. And I feel that really with social media, it's a tool. It is what it is. At the same time, it's a very volatile tool. Like, I feel like it can be, so saying social media is a tool can be kind of, not degrading, but almost underselling, like calling it just like a tool. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I feel like to call it anything more than a tool would be kind of like doing too much, because it's like social media is literally just the technological version of us sitting in this room right now. And I feel like it can be dangerous, and it can be very distracting, and also just not the most positive thing when it comes to like self-development and personal growth, because of the amount of things that are up there that are not even real, first of all, and secondly, just like so many people seeking validation from places outside of themselves. I feel like that more often than not creates issues, especially it creates issues when it is time for people to actually talk in real life, because a lot of people don't know how to handle that shit. And I noticed that, like, literally Spectrum was a way that the first time I saw so many people I'd only seen on Instagram, and then realizing that like there's just a lot of other things that I didn't see, good and bad and neutral. It's just like it's a whole spectrum of it's a whole spectrum of the spectrum. But no, like, yeah, like that's pretty much my answer. But for me, I feel like social media is not really that necessary, just because like I said, one of my passions is relationship building and communication. So it doesn't matter if I had social media or not, I would still have people in my life that I feel like I learn things from, and vice versa. Because I used to not have the best self-confidence, or not even self-confidence, but the feeling of I bring value to other people's lives. I don't know what you would call that in a term, but now that I have more relationships and have people literally validating me in ways that are deeper than just like social media validation, or even just somebody saying like, oh damn, I like your outfit, like somebody saying like I appreciate your soul right now, like that shit is way deeper and way more powerful than anything I feel like you can get from social media. And just when it comes to music and art specifically, I would really like to see things move back to, not even move back to, but not to get even off topic, but this is what it makes me think of, like with spirituality, like one common stereotype that I hear, or I've even thought this way at some point, is like kind of rejecting technology, like, and trying to be like, oh, we got to move back to nature, oh, fuck medicine, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I think the best solution to all things comes from the union of all the different perspectives. And so I feel like social media in and of itself isn't bad, but it shouldn't be a replacement for like the raw primal experience of being a human. At the same time though, there are certain things that the raw primal experience cannot do that a phone can. So it's like when it comes to music and art specifically, I use it really as a tool of like exploration and finding out things, not necessarily like trapping myself in the bubble of, oh man, I'm here right now and shit, I'm not there, I feel bad, like, because I feel like I've been there before, looking at some stuff and being like, damn, I really want to be there, instead of like going to go perform or going to go link up with y'all and being like, let's make a show happen, so that I can actually like be present in my own experience. So I feel like that's my long-winded answer. I'll make like a bowl. I'll do like I'll either do a salad or I'll do like some steamed vegetables. Like I'll do like kale or cabbage or like romaine lettuce with like, instead of like a dressing, I just use I like take an avocado and I mash it in the stuff to create like its own dressing, and then I season that in a certain type of way. Literally, like, and I like all fruits and vegetables and stuff. I don't really eat a lot of meat right now, I don't really eat a lot of animal products in general right now. So I'll basically just make like a bowl of either all vegetables or like something like brown basmati rice or like some other grain like teff or amaranth or like those ancient grains and stuff like that. And just make like a bowl with like vegetables and avocado and tomatoes and all types of vegetables and stuff. That's pretty much what I do. Like, that's almost what I do every day. Like, both my eyes.
Easy? That was the answer?
Yeah, I think I would lose both my eyes because I can still play.
That's why I fucking knew you were.
I'm tempted to say like the show that I just played. Like, me and Frederick's dad went to go play in Richmond on August 13th, I think, or 14th or something like that. That show was a really nice experience for real, like on all aspects of the music, the connection to my bandmates, the connection to the other bands that were playing, the house being packed, everything going according to plan in terms of we got to Richmond pretty early, didn't spend a lot of money, all got food together before the show. Kobe came with us, so like he was like a roadie, like no problems at the house, like no drama. The shit was free. Didn't die coming home at night at like 2 in the morning on the highway. I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to think about other good shows though, because I low-key forget a lot of the shows that I've played, and I kind of have played a lot of shows since because I've been in the scene since I was like 13. And the scene now versus when I was in Mirador is like so much different in terms of there's so many venues have closed. Like literally I don't even know, man, because I've played at the Norva 2 times and even those shows weren't as good as just a house show to me. So yeah, let's go with that answer. Like my favorite show is the one that I just played, low-key, because I would say the biggest reason why is because it marked to me a shift in how I perform in terms of how present I am, how grounded I was before I started performing, how much we had practiced beforehand, like as a band and individually, myself. And just, like I was saying, like just the intention that I had of channeling my energy and my emotions into what I'm doing in a way that's like very authentic, and also in a way that like I was completely sober playing. Not saying that I've had an issue with being like on drugs or shit, but even just like smoking weed before playing shows sometimes I don't really like to do it anymore, just because I feel like it takes away from my presence. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people our age and in our scene don't really fully appreciate yet. Emphasis on yet, because I would hope that they do appreciate it for like their own health and their own well-being. But at the same time, I'm me and they're them, so it's like we gotta make decisions for ourselves that put us at our highest state at any time. And not only our highest state, but sometimes like our deepest, like lowest, darkest state too. Because it's like literally, I feel like me being the most present, like, because that day when I played that show, literally an hour or two before the show, I was frustrated and aggressive and mad as fuck about some completely different stuff dealing with my life. And then when it was time for me to play, like, I was just there. Like, there was, like, that was still in my mind and in my heart, I guess. And so was, like, the lighter shit. But, for example, not smoking doesn't dilute that at all. It's like I was getting just the straight, you're mad as fuck right now. Like, you're very frustrated about whatever. But also, you're very having fun because this house is packed right now. And it's like, this shit is really small. And the drums are right there and my ear is already fucking dead from Martin hitting the cymbals. Like, yeah, just like stuff like that. That's what I think about. And the fact that I am that way now with music like I said, is probably why I would pick that show as being my favorite show to date. And also, I played another show in New York, but I feel like the Richmond show was cooler than the one in New York, for me personally.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would say, like, with music, for people to just be aware and not necessarily attracted, but seeking something intimate when it comes to music. Whether that means whatever, like it doesn't have to mean any particular thing, as long as that thing is deeply rooted and is something that you feel like you need to express and to understand within yourself through music. And I feel like all the other things that I do that aren't music related too still also have to deal with that, like, intimacy and that inner knowledge, like the search that everyone has to, like, know themselves and to express themselves and be free, and to learn about what's come before us historically, culturally, whatever. Yeah, like, I don't know, man, like, I'm trying to find ways to put it into words, because it's something that, like, that's a really good question, because it's hard for me to put some of my thoughts into words. But I guess I would want people to know that, just like, that there's something deeper to be experienced in all things, especially when it comes to music. And there's more things to music than what we currently see in our scene right now. Like, I'm one of the people in our scene that wants to create something different, whether that means create it by myself or create it alongside, like, my close friends and close artists and creatives. Just that there's something to be, like, there's something deeper to be experienced in our everyday life, in our minds, in our hearts, and that it's okay to, like, be uncomfortable with that or to be scared of it, but it's not okay to not go after it, in my opinion, and to not be open and to not be open to it, I guess. I don't even know if I'm wording this in the right way at all. I feel like it's something that I have learned for myself, even just within music, of listening to so many different genres, yet being able to place emotions and emotional states into different genres, like the same vibe of being like, oh, I feel like this, therefore I can listen to, like, 6 things that sound completely differently. My parents don't necessarily have that to the same degree as I have it, but I would say that they, like, help me with the foundation of just music as a way of life and music as a way of, like, being. And especially when it comes to, like, the more emotional and spiritual aspects of things, I feel like I've definitely learned that along the way, like, outside of directly from my parents. But yeah, I mean, even I tell everybody this, like, before I wanted to play any instrument, because most people, when they meet me musically, they know me as, like, an instrumentalist. Before I wanted to do any of that, I wanted to DJ vinyl when I was 6 years old. So it's like, there's some foundation to be had to make a 6-year-old want to be like, I want to DJ Michael Jackson on vinyl, like. Yeah, so that's my answer right there.
And now, which radio station was it that you were, didn't you say you were working out of a radio station or something? Or that you got to meet a DJ that was on?
So you know DJ B?
Yes. We had
his old radio station, like, literally by my
crib, right?
By my crib. Like, he had a radio station by the police station, like, literally on Virginia Beach Boulevard, you know what I'm talking about? Like, when you turn right on Azalea onto Virginia.
So it's, like, right there by Family Ties, pretty much.
Yeah. He used to have a radio station right there, and that's where it was. Like, literally, like, right by my house. Yeah.
Well, is there any one thing you want to say to the camera in, like, 20 seconds to let them know about you and what you're trying to do? Just
I don't know. Thank you for existing. thank everybody for existing, for real. And thanks for the learning experience, because I'm literally just getting started. So I have a lot to learn and I have a lot to do. To me, I've done a lot, but there's still like a lot to learn. So that's where I'm at. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.